I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Yeah, thank you
Hey,
very much for having
it's
us.
an absolute pleasure, Rob. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we get to Omen of the End, I wanted to ask you if you could take me back to the beginning and tell me how this band formed.
Yeah, sure. I my first ever band was like a death metal sort of project. So I played guitar for Scholar of Sin, and in this particular project, I was just on vocals. Um, and I would always go to shows to scout drummers because that was our pain point. We couldn't find a drummer, and that's ultimately why it never took off. So one of the shows where I was scouting was an enslaved show. Um, band enslaved from, I think they're from Norway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the area.
somewhere from that region.
Mhm.
That's where I found, one of the drummers that didn't stay with us for long, Scott. And at that same show, I met Phil. And he was new in town. He's from New Zealand
Mm.
originally, so I noticed he was up the front by himself. So I just, went up and said, "Hey," you know. I discovered Phil plays guitar as well,
Mm.
so I'm like, "Oh, cool, man. Let's stay in touch and we'll try to tee something up. Maybe we can jam sometime." Um, I think we didn't talk for like a year after that.
Yeah.
Uh,
At least. Yeah.
and then I think I randomly just hit him up one day. I'm like, "Oh man, you remember me? Let's go out to a show." So I took
Mm.
Phil out to one of our local gigs. Um,
I think it was Steel Assassins.
no,
No, one before.
I think it was like a grindcore,
Ah, yeah.
um, yeah, like a little grindcore festival.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think it was something like that. But
Mm.
yeah, so we caught up, got to know each other a little bit, and I sort of told him like, "Look, man, I'm looking to start something up, something new, like a thrash metal project." I've always my heart's always been, thrash, um, like old school punk stuff like that. So yeah, we started out with Phil on guitar actually, just because I happen to own a bass,
Mm.
and I'm like, you
Right
know
on.
what, I'll do vocals and bass. You can do guitar.
Mm.
We found a drummer, so yeah, we just started jamming covers as a three piece. That went on for a little while, and then our current vocalist. Ty, I found him on Facebook. I sort of wanted to take a step back from vocals. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that. So I found Ty, and then yeah, that drummer left. We found a new drummer. Phil and I did the switcheroo. So I went back to guitar. Phil bought a bass. It was just a little bit easier. I was writing the music, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick to
Kind of made
guitar.
sense. You already knew the songs by the time you brought it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we went through a few drummers.
Mm.
The drummer that you hear on the album, his name's Cam. He's
Mm.
actually from the States originally.
Mm.
He's from America.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think our first show was in like 2019 or something
Hmm.
like that. So yeah, we just, tried to hit the ground running and try to we were writing as we went along. Yeah, just trying to get as many original songs together. Yeah, just try to make a name for ourselves. Obviously, you had COVID, so that
Hmm.
Right.
sort of threw a spanner in the works in all of it. So that was definitely a challenging time to sort of survive as an artist. Um, yeah, we recorded a little demo like 2021, was it?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we just sort of playing shows here and there.
Mm.
Um, nothing really too goal oriented.
Mm.
I think the biggest goal that we sort of accomplished or that we sort of mapped out was an actual full length album,
Mm.
and that was a process in itself. It took us a couple of years to get together, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, just life gets in the way and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we played a couple of cool shows, like supporting some international bands as well. So we got the opportunity to play with a band called Riot City. from Canada, if you've heard of them. We shared the stage with a band called Raven.
Yes,
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
band.
Yeah.
So we couldn't believe it. We're like, holy crap. Um,
Yeah, it
we
takes me back to my day, Raven days.
yeah, man, yeah, and uh, we love to pretend like we're an 80s band, even though we weren't even
Yeah.
born in the 80s.
Yeah. No.
Um, we got to share, we got to open up for a Toxic Holocaust
Mm.
gig. Um, yeah, for me, that was probably the highlight. They're probably one of my biggest influences, one of my favorite bands.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and here we are. Yeah, we've got the full
Yes.
length out.
Yep.
The fruits of our labor. So we're pretty happy with it. The reception's been cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that makes you stand out is what you described earlier, is that you not only provide a thrash feel, but there are nuances of punk and death in the mix.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, man. I think we've all got a pretty broad spectrum of influences. Yeah, thrash and so many other things sprinkled in there.
Yeah. And even of the songs on the album, like some of those songs were written over a 6 year span. And so influence has definitely changed over
Yeah,
those
yeah,
6 years.
Sure.
So yeah, you can definitely see when we're like, oh, we're in this mood and then that mood and all that.
And this
definitely.
Yeah.
album clocks in at 29 minutes, and it's nothing but a blitzkrieg from beginning to end. I wanted to ask you, was you was the purpose of doing the album the way you did was to make it have that live feel and to add to your live experience?
Yeah, de definitely. I think we definitely wanted to capture that raw energy. I think a lot of me modern metal, and nothing against that style, is very polished and borderline sterile
Hmm.
sometimes in its production value. And being an 80s inspired band that we are, we don't try and be super original with the songwriting. It's just playing stuff that we love,
Mm.
and trying to capture that 80s sound, whilst keeping the production still crisp,
Hmm.
uh, but not too polished, I suppose.
And one song I wanted to ask you about was Solution Execution, because to me, when I hear this song, it comes off to me like someone is trying to provide a solution to a problem, but they end up making it more fucked up.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, I wrote that song and it was inspired by a movie. The movie is called The Stoning of Soraya. So it's basically about a small rural village in Iran, where it's basically ruled by tribal, their own tribal law. And
Mhm.
the woman Soraya, she gets falsely accused of adultery, and is ultimately stoned to death.
Wow.
This is based off a true story. So it's based off some real life events. So I thought that was a cool topic to cover. Yeah, so I wrote the music, pitched the idea to the vocalist. Usually I'll give him a theme and a title for the song, and then he'll just take that and run with it. And the lyrics he came up with are, really, really cool.
Mm.
Sure. And with me, and I think, history repeats itself to me when I hear the song. It reminds me of the witches of Salem, how they are burned at the stake for just
Yeah,
working with
man.
herbs and stuff and considered witches.
Mm.
Most definitely. Yeah, I think it's definitely another iteration of that same pattern in human history, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
I totally agree.
we try to eliminate what we fear, and we fear what we don't know. And that's been something that's been repeated through history from the dawn of time.
Most
Mm.
definitely. Yeah, totally agree.
And you guys did a song that is a self-titled song. I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
did you set out to do that in the beginning?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned beginning. So that was the first ever song that I wrote.
Mm.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so at the time, like we were just playing covers, and I remember
Hmm.
when our vocalist Ty came into the fold, he was like, "Look, man, I'm looking for an original band that plays original music.
Mm.
My intention was always to play original music. I just was never confident in my writing
Mm.
abilities at the time. So I'm like, you know what? I sort of said to Phil, I'm like, you know what? We need to write a song, man. So
We
Ty
really
could
like
stick.
Kai as well. Yeah, we're like, oh no, we're gonna lose him.
We're like let's write a kick-ass song so we can so this guy sticks around.
Yeah.
So that's how Scholar of Sin was
We
born.
got him.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Fell for it.
showed him the riffs and he's like, "Oh man, this is cool. This is
Mm.
right up my alley." I was like,
Dude.
"Oh, cool.
Mm.
If you dig this, man, I can try to write more stuff like this, and
Mm.
and you
Right.
can pen some more lyrics." And yeah, soon as that was written, that my confidence in writing music increased. Obviously with the support of my band writing their respective parts as well to
Mm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Might be
And
worth noting we wrote that song before the band name Scholar of Sin as well. So
wow.
yeah, we ended up
Fuck yeah.
I think it was that order, right? Or you might have had it on your head the whole time and it might have just been you brought the song to us before the name.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the song in my head, but at the time we didn't have a official band name,
No.
and I sort of yeah, I used that song as inspiration as well to
Mm.
be like, hey, why don't we just call ourselves Scholar of Sin?
Yep.
It sounds cool, it sounds evil, and no
Mm,
one else
yeah.
is using it, so
Yes.
yeah, that's it.
And Human Rat is the longest track on the album.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you, we had discussed before how this album from top to bottom kicks you in the teeth and doesn't stop. I wanted to ask you, what led to the thought of giving this song more room to breathe?
Oh wow, so
Mm.
that's a very good question. So, Human Rat is actually a song that I had pre-written the lyrics for. So I had written this song to, for my death metal project prior to Scholar of Sin. So I had these lyrics, and I'm like, I showed these lyrics to Ty. I'm like, this is like my lyrics. This is some
Mhm.
of the stuff that I write. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, that's really cool. He's like, maybe we can use that. I'm like, yeah, I can try and write a song around that. So. I actually, for the first time and only time, this was an exclusive writing music around lyrics. So, I think maybe because I had long-winded lyrics, maybe that's why the song came out to be longer than it did. But yeah, I was happy with the results. It turned out to be a cool song. It's epic, you
Mm.
know.
It's one of
And
my
now,
favorites. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And now this album is out, and you guys have been through this process, and you had this EP before. How do you feel looking back at the EP now after the album's been completed?
Phil, did you want to
Uh,
answer that?
do you mean the first demo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
demo, yeah.
yeah. I think when we were going into the album, we were sort of thinking about some of the things that we wanted to, I guess, fix up from the demo. But after the album, like I listened to the demo and I appreciate it a lot more for what it is. Like it's
Hmm.
kind of with some other bands as well. Like you think about like how Sepultura has like the same but different
Sure.
recordings of Troops of Doom, for example,
Hmm.
and it's you can appreciate them for what they are. And it really unlocked me just really liking the demo to like another level, pretty much. And it was like, we did it and it was cool. And I think we were a bit fresh to the recording process as well. So we took some lessons from that for sure. But yeah, no. I listened to the demo almost maybe not as much as the album, but definitely frequently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great takeaway from it is that I think the demo really laid the groundwork for this album.
Mm.
There's old um There's an old theory: if something ain't broke, don't fix it. And
Oh man, yeah.
when you listen to demo, you see there's nothing that needed fixed.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, we bridged on playing with bands like Raven and opening for them. What do you feel was the best advice that you were given from bands that have had more experience than you?
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's a really, really good question. Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta think about this one.
Okay, I've got a funny one. Just a thought.
While I'm
I,
thinking, you can answer
it,
it.
it wasn't a band, but it's a promoter friend, Dave from Metal Evolution. When we told him about doing the album, he was like, "Okay, just don't take 2 years making the album." Yeah, he said
Oh wow.
that. I think it was exactly 2 years. He told me he's just like, "I asked so many people that they start recording. It's going to be 3 months, and then it's 2 years later, and we're just like, no, we'll get it done in 6 months." And then
Yeah.
yeah, it was
2 years later, here we
yeah.
are.
I mean, we did hit some genuine hiccups in the process as well. Like, we had the drums recorded by Cam, but he ended up leaving the band at the end of the year. Um, good parting, and actually, when we opened for Toxic Holocaust, he wasn't in the band anymore. But Ahmad was just like, Cam, it's Toxic Holocaust, and he's just like, yep, yep. So.
Yeah.
We really appreciate him doing that. You don't have to. But another thing was I had a hand injury and we were recording stuff at my house. I got an RSI, so I pretty much had to pull back from using a computer, but I was doing all the software. So
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of put things on a bit of a pause and then a slowdown until that got better as well. So um, it still took longer than it should have. There's still things to learn, but yeah, no. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, th this isn't so much advice, but
Mm,
this maybe just like observations that I've picked up in the live scene. Um, you know, something that might be understated is your level of professionalism
mm,
within the live scene as well.
Mm.
You could be a kick-ass band, but if you're rubbing people the wrong way, or if you're not acting courteous or professional, that's going to follow you around as well. So yeah, we try and take pride in being as professional as possible,
mm,
and being good to other bands as well. Appreciating the people, the fans that come out and see us, interacting with fans as well. Like
Sure.
I think we think that that's extremely valuable to, because sometimes you see the same faces at every show, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get to know these people. Like
mm,
Sure.
they're coming out to see us. It's humbling, like you like this shit. You come out all the way to see us every time we play. We're like,
mm.
wow. Um,
Some make some big trips as well. Like we're talking like there was one person that was like, yeah, I came all the way from Penrith, and that's an hour from the
yeah,
gig
yeah,
that we were at.
yeah. We had one that
Yeah,
would travel from Goulburn, which is about two
yeah,
2 hours.
yeah. When we did Canberra, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, that's. I think it's good to appreciate your fans and
Have
Absolutely.
minimum. They're
not
like nuts. Yeah,
yeah, not
so
put
good.
yourself on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
And this album deals with basically how the world is falling apart at these times. I wanted to ask you, in the writing, in the lyrics, and that, are there little hints of like an underlying theme of fighting back through it?
Um, you know what? Like, I like to the themes that I like to cover. I try to make it as bleak as possible. To be to be blunt, as dark and bleak as possible. And maybe highlighting that in the light that we do. Maybe maybe that in itself is a warning to not fall into that, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think we consciously put in optimism. Um, I think it just sounds cooler when it's when shit's bleak, you know. Uh,
And now this amazing album is out. What is the best way to get a hold of this album and any merchandise that you have?
Phil, you want to
Oh
answer?
yeah. Yeah, we got a few places. So if you're looking to just stream it, we're on all the standard services, so Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Want to do a quick shout out actually to the new wave of old school thrash metal channel. They featured the album.
Hmm.
Frankly, a lot of people who have listened to the album wouldn't have heard of us if we weren't on
Sure.
that channel. So huge thanks to them. So streaming, you can do that. For buying the album, you can use Bandcamp. Bandcamp, it's just pay what you want. So if you want to download it for free, you can. If you want to give us some money, we'll appreciate that as well. That comes with guitar and bass tabs as well if they want them. And then we're also on a new startup from New Zealand. It's called Lume, Lume, and that is more of a bigger digital album type package.
Okay.
That is 25 New Zealand dollars and then localized to whatever currency you're in. And that's got the album, instrumentals, the demo version, tabs. It's got some behind the scenes footage. Ty's done a bunch of write-ups about the recording and all the songs. There's probably some other stuff I've forgotten as well, but we're still adding to that as well. So that if you want to go all out, there's that. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you just listen,
yeah,
I'm just looking at the
yeah,
Yeah.
Spotify dashboards every day, and I'm just like, yes, we've gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you do that, I'm stoked.
yeah. And for
Yeah,
some of the old school fans, if you want to grab a physical copy,
yeah,
that is in the works.
mm,
So we have a big batch of CDs coming through. Hopefully
Excellent.
we can chuck that on the Bandcamp.
yep,
And we will have some like actual vinyls as well made at some stage this year.
yep,
We've got a whole bunch of merch in the pipeline as well. Like we've got some t-shirts, some
mm,
hats, patches, stickers, just your standard stuff. So that's going to be advertised on Bandcamp as well.
yep.
So yeah,
Yeah, those probably September-ish. We'll need to figure out logistics for international shipping
yeah,
and stuff, so it could be later, but hopefully it's something to share on Bandcamp
for sure.
September. So
Right.
yeah, follow there.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
vinyl's
speaking
going to
of,
be closer to the end of the year because they take
oh,
forever. But yeah,
okay.
yep.
And then speaking of the album itself, one thing that's very immersive about the album is the artwork itself. I wanted to ask you, could you tell me who's responsible for the artwork on this album?
Oh man, the person responsible, his name is Andrei Buzakov. Um, so yeah, the artwork is spectacular. It's
Yes.
actually a real painting, hand painted by a real person on a canvas. So yeah, he's done a lot of art for like municipal waste. He's done art for Toxic Holocaust. He's pretty much become the modern day Ed Repka, you know.
Hmm.
So he's basically the go-to guy for a lot of the new wave thrash metal bands. And the results speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
Super
And
easy to work with. Yeah,
those album covers from back in those days are classics, things that we'll never forget and we go back
definitely.
to over and over again.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
I think yeah, having a good art, an artwork because personally I've discovered bands by looking at the album covers and be
Sure.
like, you know what, that's
Absolutely.
that's a cool album cover. And I've got a feeling the music is going to be really cool as well. So yeah, I think that draws people in. Um,
And lastly, my friends, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
yeah, look, we just thank you for all the kind words, all the views, all the comments, coming out to our shows, supporting us. You know, we're a small underground thrash band, and it's cool that we have fans at all. So
Yeah.
I'm extremely grateful for that. You know, we don't expect to sell out stadiums, but you know, if we can have some fans come out and dig our music, man,
Yeah.
and remember some of the songs and hum some of the riffs and yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
Phil?
It's pretty much. It's been like, I guess there's kind of been two phases as well, because like before the album it was kind of would just be like super grateful for like everyone that was showing up to gigs and stuff, and it was
Mhm.
like great meeting people there. And I'm really looking forward on the tour to do that more. But like now that we've got the album out as well, there's a lot of people outside of Australia that have just been saying really incredible things to us, just reaching out either in comments or DMs or email and whatnot. And like that's so special to us as well. Like it can't really be overstated how much we
Yeah,
are
yeah.
just like, wow. So it's just a thank you is pretty much what I'd want to say. Yeah.
And I think, in listening to this album, all the praise you received is very well deserved. You created an album that is great from top to bottom. And I love the theory behind the making of the album, keeping it at 29, keeping it strong throughout. There's not a bad track on this album. This is
Appreciate it,
just
man.
fire from beginning to end.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. No, I would stoked to hear that, man.
Hmm.
So,
And thank you for taking time to speak with me.
Yes.
It's been an
Thank you for
absolute
having us.
pleasure.
pleasure was all ours, my
Yeah.
friend. And yeah, well, you know, hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Mm.
Next release, maybe.
Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely.
if we're ever in town, we'll hit you up. And if
Mm.
you're ever in Sydney, man, hit us up. You know,
Will do. And please feel free to keep in touch.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
enjoy the rest of your day, my friends.
You
Yes.
too, man.
Likewise. Have a good one.
Cheers, my
Thank you.
friends.